optional work through of update and delete. That's not how you spell my name correctly. On the recording, I apologize, Charlene, for interrupting you earlier, just so it's held for posterity. Okay. Let's share my screen and let's get this full stack app up here in terminal. Let's get it up here in VS Code. Oh, I have it over here. Interesting. In terminal, let's run, what branch am I on main? Rails check. Nope. No, not Rails checkout. That is the wrong thing to do, my friends. I need to check out to a new branch. So we're going to do git checkout -b, and this branch is going to call it update. Switch to a new branch, update. And then we'll do Rails S just so we can keep this running in the background. Make sure everything is copacetic. Now let's do down for this one. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, so it's working. Got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Update. With update, we are going to be working in a few places. We've already kind of figured this out. What are the places that we work in when we're building out one of our RESTful routes and CRUD action combinations? Open to the crew.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What areas of our application do we work in when we're building out part of the RESTful routes? Work in the controller. Where else do we work in?
Views.
Where else do we work in?
Routes.
All right. That honestly, that sounds like that would be it. Controller, routes, and views. In the controller, what am I looking to do?
Create a new method called update.
An update's going to be kind of weird inherently. Update is going to be like new in that, or not update. Update is going to be broken into two sections. First is going to be broken into edit. And then it's going to be broken into update. Let's add a little line in here just to get some distinction. Cool. So edit, if we remember back into the RESTful routes, edit and update are going to work together with a particular HTTP verb. Who remembers what that was? Actually, that's not true. Edit is going to have an HTTP verb that's different from update. Who remembers the edit HTTP verb?
Got
Patch, right?
It's going to be
okay.
get.
Verb. All right, yeah, get. And then updates patch, right?
Yeah. Where update is going to have patch or put, depending on what we're updating and using. All right, cool. So we've got that. We're kind of building out some of our ideas here. Edit is going to have a view. Specifically, what is the view for edit? Like what's its idea?
You just want to edit, like edit something you see.
What is the,
Yeah,
what's edit and new are similar? What does new do for us?
New
Does
plays
it
a
form fill out?
Yeah, it gives us an HTML form to fill out. But unlike new, edit has something in particular that's different. An HTML, the new one is going to give us a blank form to fill out, where edit needs to give us what?
It says it's a form for updating and inserting into a database.
that is gonna give us one that's already been filled out, right?
Yeah, an existing. The edit form should populate the fields with the current data. Wouldn't that be nice? You go to the form and it has everything filled out for you, since you know, so you know what's already there. You can update it as you need. So if we need to populate our fields with current data, what do we need to grab from the database in our edit method?
The instance we want to update.
Yeah. Hey, looks like everyone's joined us. Welcome in, everyone. Okay. So we're going to pull in that instance from the database, and we're going to hold it as a variable. We're going to pass that instance over to our form, just like we did with new, right? We're passing we're passing an empty instance. This one, we're going to pass an instance that already has values. And then we're going to have our edit form. What would our route look like for pulling in a single instance, but also editing something? Who remembers the new route?
Maybe get, if this is hike, right? So get
Yeah.
hike slash new.
So perfect. So
It's the one
slash
I only
new
typed
told us that we're going to get a certain form. Edit is going to tell us that we're also going to get a certain form, but we want to get a certain form with a particular item. So we're going to pass to it an ID.
Okay.
Who's with me? Cool. We'll map that over to hike and edit. And then let's give that an alias as edit hike. That seems pretty reasonable to me. Any questions about this plan? Again, this will all be made available to you. You don't have to copy any of this down. All right, let's get to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the controller, and we need to make a view. So edit is going to pull in an individual instance from the database. How do I pull in an individual instance from the database that I want to look at?
Params ID.
Hey, look at that. I already got the code. Easy peasy. Same exact code to utilize. Any questions about what I'm doing here? This time I'm keeping the chat open because y'all seemed distraught when I looked over the chat after I sent you to breakout rooms last time.
It was just a lot. You jumped
It is a
on,
lot.
you're trying to I followed it up until, like I said, this create point, and I'm just like, oh man, now I gotta find out where I put an S and I wasn't supposed to or something.
Yes. Welcome to full stack development. That's not even a Rails thing, by the way. That's just normal full stack applications. Okay. So hike, we're gonna, and just keep in mind, what's the job of edit here?
To make an HTML form.
Yeah. And then this instance variable is just going to populate our form with values from the database that we're looking at. That's all. All right, let's close this up. Let's close that up. Let's go to our routes. Close up database. I don't need to look at that. Close the config. Okay, we're gonna do the edit route. Already came up with an idea for the edit route. I'm just gonna go copy that code, bring that in. Is hikes / edit / ID more specific than everything else?
Yes.
All right, so I'm probably gonna need to move it up. No, we'll keep it down. Sorry, we're gonna keep it down here. Cool. So that is the controller. Good on that, and we're good on the routes. What do we need next for views? We have our view made. Is there anywhere I've already utilized a Rails form in my database, in my project?
New.
Is there anything in here I should change when I'm doing edit?
Form with URL.
Oh, I have the old version of this in here.
Yeah.
That's not good. I meant to get the new version in here. Hike. That's the edit. Where's my new? So this is how you utilize the model version, by the way, instead of the URL version. Cool. So now I'm utilizing this instance variable, which I'm calling on here on line 27, the instance variable hike inside of edit, to populate this field. Should we say add hike here, or should we say something else?
Update or edit. Probably update hike.
Let's go with edit hike. We are looking at the edit page after all. Cool. We updated our routes. Let's turn the server off and on again. If you're wondering what I'm doing there, I'm just doing Control-C, and then I'm hitting up on my arrow key to get the last command I ran and just hitting return really fast. Cool. All right, how do I get to my edit page?
Since we didn't add a link to, we'd have to do the URL way. And then whatever, do 4.
Let's do 7 here. We'll update this other one. Ooh. No route matches, get edit 7. Somewhere we've got something that's not connecting.
Do we have to use a 2i so it knows to go to the 7th ID?
Ooh.
Params IDs are kind of weird in that they are read even though they are strings.
Okay,
So you have to go to
Um,
hike/edit/7.
say again.
You made the URL hike/edit/ID and you didn't go to hikes.
Thank you. That is an oversight on my part. Cool.
nice.
Ain't that nifty?
So just change the name then, I guess, to like hike 7, and then it should just, and when you edit it, it should work, right?
Hmm.
It just ran the get, it didn't do an edit. Oh, start a patch. No routes match. So we need to make a patch route?
Yep, but specifically we need to think about this. New and create are different things. Edit and what are different things.
Edit and patch.
Update.
Update.
Yeah, update.
All right, so we're good on our form. It looks like things are working. It's looking for a patch request that doesn't exist. Started patch hike 7, but nothing matches patch. So let's move on to the patch section of this, which is the update method. Create a new method called update. That sounds pretty easy. Update. Any questions? Y'all, this day when I went through Learn was the most confusing day of my existence. I know some of you are out there being like, what the hell is happening? I need to know when that's happening so I can help out.
What the hell is happening on the create? This stuff makes sense.
Okay.
On the create part.
All right. Update's gonna be really similar to create.
Okay,
So what's the job of create?
it creates a new, I guess object, is it inside the, or no, yeah, it creates a new object in that array,
Not in the array,
the hash.
in the
I'm right there, I know it.
In the
Uh,
The
database.
database.
in the database. Imagine an Excel file. Create is writing a new line down in that Excel file. It's getting a primary, it's going to the next row, which has got, that little Excel file number on it or Google Sheets number. And it's saying like the name of the hike and then a description of the hike, and it's throwing those cells in. So that's what create's doing. What's update supposed to do?
You're
Go
overriding the value of the existing instance.
Cool. Do I have anything in here that looks at the values that I want to override, like, and keeps them safe? Or here's a different question. Back in the days when we were doing Rails console, remember we were playing around with Active Record and you guys had to update something in the Rails console. What was the weird work through that we had to do to update something? You remember this?
Vaguely.
Let's try it. Let's look at it. Let's check it out real quick. Oh man, I'm running out of time.
Will be blog
You
post.
need a
dot update.
variable?
Yeah, remember you had to make a variable, and
Oh,
if you
yeah.
quit out of the console, it would forget your variables. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna make a variable, and then we're gonna update on that variable. So with this, first I need to find the thing that I'm looking at. And we're just gonna use the find method for that. We're gonna pass a parameter. Look, this patch request that it tried to pass through actually had that parameter of ID. 7. We're gonna use params to identify which items to update, and then use strong params to pass through information to the update method. Ten. And so back in Rails console, when we needed to update something, we had to call on that variable. Remember, if we had made a variable called H or J or whatever, we just called it there. In this case, our variable is hike, specifically an instance variable of hike, dot update. And we already have our strong params in our private section. I professionally have to say those words out loud, private section, and it's ridiculous every time I hear it. Hike.update hike params. This .update's job is to interact with the database. It's a SQL query. It's an active record SQL query, but it's a SQL query. Find this instance in the database, take these values and overwrite it. Specifically, take these values and overwrite it. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so 2 things are happening right now. 1, we're looking at one instance in the database. 2, we're overwriting that instance in the database. Third thing that's happening, check if the overwrite was valid and updated. Where can I find if this overwrite, where's the code to check if something was valid and then updated?
Create.
If I don't want to redirect to the new hikes path, what do I want to redirect to? If it doesn't work.
Oh, edit hike. Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Sorry, I might have missed something, but why are you passing it hike again in the redirect too? Yeah.
So that I can repopulate the field.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right.
This hike is gonna be overwritten with this one. And actually, I don't really want to go back to the main page. I think I'm gonna just go back to the show page over here. There's a little bit of Rails magic going on right here in these 2 lines. Okay, let's check it out. We're missing one thing, actually. What's this route gonna look like? What kind of verb are we gonna use here for update?
Touch.
Then we always pass it the table name. And then what are we passing to it?
Update.
How do we not update? Only new and edit need their names for the form.
Oh,
We just need to tell it which one to update.
the ID.
And this one does not need an alias because we're not explicitly calling on it in our code.
Is that gonna need to go after new?
It should be fine because it's a patch. Nothing else is utilizing patch, but we might run into an issue. We can check it out. Okay, none of my people who are looking down while we're going through this are asking questions. Hit me. There's like 8 of you. I was that person too, so I
Can you
see
go back to your routes, please?
Yep. Other than the route, how many routes do I have now?
6.
How many restful routes are there?
7. The last one's destroy.
Uh-huh. So I have one route for each thing I'm trying to do. Pretty helpful, huh? How many controller methods do I have so far? Not outside of the private.
Still 6.
One for each thing I'm trying to do. How many views do I have?
4. Because 2 are connected to each other.
Yep. Just counting stuff helps. All right, let's try it. Updated our routes, restart the server. Refresh this one page. Change up. Here we go. Pretty sweet, huh? Does anybody confused with what just happened right there? Okay, can you identify the spot of the confusion? Was
For
it
me, can you go back to where you were, back to the homepage really quick that you were at before you did that, before you edited? And how did you edit? You just typed in edit.
Yeah, we need to add that in right now. We need to add in a button.
Okay, will you do that one more time for a different one?
Sure, let's do number 1, Foxhead Trail. What's the pathway for editing Foxhead Trail? Somebody else. Somebody hasn't spoken up in a bit. Foxhead Trail has ID number 1.
Just put in 1.
That's the show route. What's the edit route? There you go. There's the edit route. All right, let's update this to 1.5 miles scenic. What HTML am I looking at? What page is this right here?
It's the edit page.
Which one?
Edit html.arb.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, when I click this button, what request is being sent through?
Should be a get.
It is not a get.
Patch.
Well,
It
it
is a
started get
patch.
X1 first.
That submit button is a patch request to the update method. Edit is an HTML document. Update is an action that that interacts with the database. All right, let's add our hyperlink in here. Let's do, that's the edit I want inside of the show. Say link to, what are we gonna do? We're gonna say at yeah. Edit hike. That'll just be our edit hike button. It'll literally just say edit this hike or edit hike, not this hike. And then we'll give it a path. I'm gonna pull up my routes real quick. What is this? Edit hike is the path. So the path that we're gonna give it. Sorry, it's the wrong thing. That's the right thing. Edit hike path, and we're gonna pass it the actual hike that we're using here for hike name, hike description. And I want this to show up, so I add an equal sign. Refresh. There's edit hike. Should add a break between these. Back to all hikes. Go to Heyo, edit hike. Probably shouldn't have this both called edit hike, but we're doing our best here.
Okay,
Maybe we should
question.
use submit edit.
So I'm looking back. So you pulled in the form, and then when did you change the button on the form from going from creating new to now going to an update?
So I didn't actually have to do anything like that because this form.submit is referring to the fact that it's inside of an edit page. So this .submit is already looking to do a patch request, which is really helpful.
Because I think the same issue that Cody's ran into and I'm running into is that it's still doing a get. Like if I'm not telling it what to do, it's doing a get instead of.
Yeah, check out to see whether or not you're passing in an instance variable for that method. In this case, we're passing an instance variable from edit, and with a new one, you need to pass in the instance variable from new.
Yeah, so like mine says started post / new for whatever. And this is action controller routing error. No route matches post.
Oh, interesting. That's probably the case. Then something's going wrong. You might have something's going wrong in the routes then.
Yeah, and I'm looking, it's obviously it's brand new to me today, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, we'll try to work through it. I have one more thing to get through. Any other questions on this one? Okay, that's update and edit. So these two things are working in tandem with our full stack application. Delete is a little bit nicer to us. It's just one method. It's one HTTP verb, and it has and its method isn't delete. The method is destroy, which is the and so yeah, I should actually call it the RESTful action destroy. And it's just going to forcibly request to remove an instance from the database. Let's actually swap those. All right, the controller method is pretty simple. Our method is going to take in a single instance from the database, a sing instance. And save it as a variable, just like we did with show, just like we did with edit. And then we're going to call the active record query .destroy on it. If you want, you can create a redirect if it works. And that's going to be the controller method. So we'll create a conditional. If it did get destroyed, just redirect us back to the index page. Does that make sense to you, everyone? The route for it is pretty interesting, actually. We're just gonna, it's a special verb, delete, which we haven't used before. We pass to it the table name, and we pass to it the thing we want to delete, the ID of the thing we want to delete. Simple enough. This ID is going to get passed through as params. Saves it as a variable. What's the controller that I'm calling on here? Somebody who hasn't spoken up yet.
Like,
And what's the method that I'm going to be calling on here? Somebody who hasn't spoken up yet.
Troy.
Destroy. These are my guns. I call them Des and Troy. I got them from a place called Texas. You can't. It's for Thor Ragnarok. Okay. Funny. You guys aren't laughing.
I'm just not good at movie quotes.
Me neither.
All right, let's get this going right here, and then I'll show you the syntax for getting it set up. Okay. So don't want to put it inside of my update. It's like 2 years ago, 4 years ago, Thor Ragnarok. What's the name of this method?
Destroy.
Destroy. Come on, guys. I know it's late. Method name is destroy. Method is going to use params to identify one instance from the database. What code can I pull on to do that?
Line 27.
Line 33, line 27. Okay. Hugh, they have PBS where you live?
Ah.
Okay, now what we need to do is we've saved that as a variable at hike. We call the active record query dot destroy on our variable. Like that. Isn't that cool? That's it. Like technically you're good. That's all. Now you just have to make a button that connects to it and you're good. If you want to be able to redirect, all you have to do is add an if and a redirect. That's all. This if, even though it's conditional, will still run this code. Comments, questions, concerns?
And you don't need an else.
Nope. Only to check one thing. I don't need to do anything else if it didn't work. Okay. So we've got the destroy method. We don't have a route. Let's go look at our README. Said delete hikes route. And I'm going to pass to this alias. Of delete hike. Cool. You can put the delete button for this anywhere you have access to the instance variable. Up to you where you want to do that. I think that includes, you can put it like in the show page if you want. So like other next to edit, you can have show delete. I think putting it inside of the edit page is actually a pretty safe bet. So what it is oh, never mind. We do want to put it in the show page. That's my bad. So we have this like link to edit hike. I'm going to add another break in here. And we're going to give it a delete button. Maybe I'll do actually a break here and delete button. So this, I want this button to show up. We have link to, we have redirect to, we also have button to. And this button to is going to be delete item. This is going to take the alias that we just created, in this case, delete hike. We're going to pass to it the instance variable that we want deleted. Rails 7 has some new stuff going on with it too, though. On this one, what we're going to do is we're going to tell it what method to utilize. Oh, will this work? Method delete?
Destroy is what you named it.
Yeah. Something else is going on here. I think this is the patch. This is the patch, like a get post put patch request. This is the verb actually, even though it's using the word method. And then we're going to call back on form. Pass to form a couple of nested objects. The first one is called data. I don't expect you guys to figure this out on your own, by the way. It's not a thing. Second one is called, has a key of turbo confirm, which is one of the built-in structures to Rails 7. And then we're just going to pass a quick message that says, are you sure? And this should work. If this doesn't work, I'm going to actually toss this into my edit form because that might be calling on form there. I want to find out. All right. Heyo, it's better. It's a lot of fun when you hang out. I did update my routes though, so I'm actually going to Control C, Rails S, and refresh. Cool. Delete item. Turbo confirm created that document.alert. Are you sure? Okay. And heyo, it's a lot of fun is gone. Let's get rid of change up. Delete item. Okay. Change up is gone. Let's get rid of hey echo. Delete item, and it's gone. And that's all of it. So that was this code living inside of the show.html.erb. I'm just going to give you guys this code, by the way. How do you spell finagling? Finagling. Okay.